everybody. I'm Achille Zappa. I'm from the University of Galway in Ireland, and I was partner of the Data Science Institute and Insight Research Center. I'm here talking about some of the principles supporting the creation of tools for interoperability of European digital data spaces and marketplace. Is based on experience of the IT market project. That is H2020 project that is in progress at the moment with many large industries, SME, university. And what is about? Because we know that exists a lot of data marketplace and data spaces around, but probably they are old, they are completely separated, probably they have some functionality, but not all the functionality that they should have to be able to be part of the digital economy and updated at the moment. So what we are doing, we are trying not to create a new complete marketplace, another one, but we are trying to make it possible to have open source tools component that we call in our reference implementation as IT market tech plane, to be able to make available to this data marketplace that they can use to improve their functionality, integrate in a network to have improvement of their visibility, monetization, and what is based on the pillar that they should cover about the main, let's say, functionality operation for every data marketplace. That is a security layer, an identity management layer, storage in a case of management or registry of metadata, description, data offering, what is all the information that are residing inside the marketplaces and the network, smart contract, and a payment system. So we have a set of tools and components created to cover some of this functionality that are available to the data marketplaces that they can use, and they are part of the smart wallet and identity management, part that is related to smart contract manager, auditor accounting, conflict resolution. There is an standard part that is related entirely to the data transfer and access of the data that is outside. Is used separated by provider and consumer for one. The provider and consumer have a subscription decided on the smart contract, on all the policy and all the parameters that are used in the marketplace by the different actors. We have a distributed decentralized system that is based one on the Hyperledger Basis, that is the part that is the code that connects the network to be sure that all the smart contract, the information are shared in the network for all the different data marketplaces that are connected to the IT market network. Data monetization part, because we want to incentivize provider and user to serve, share, and trade data. And there is a part that is related with, let's say, a registry catalog of what is the metadata or information about the data offering. Because at the end, when the data marketplace need to share the information about what they are offering, we are talking about data marketplace, so it's the data asset. So what is an information model that is described what are the data offering that provider and the owner make available to the consumer that can decide, understand what is the information. And so the metadata that describe the single data offering, the data asset, and the other information that are related with the other components. So we need to understand that we need to have some information that are needed to have the data sources, the ownership of the data, the access of the data interface, where they are distributed, how they can be used and utilized from a data access, but also from a contact point of view, and what are the information related with price, constraint, and tokens that we apply to the chain of the monetization part. And for that, we have tried to have compile and integrate some kind of vocabularies that define this kind of information, try to use vocabulary taxonomy that are already part of the standard, but try to have also a core part that describes what is the main information that is distributed in our registries. And so to have some kind of formalization of collection of this information model related to collecting, accessing, store, and serve the data for the different parts of the information. So try to have what is starting from a core model that describes essentially what is the data offering itself. Try to have some information about other type of taxonomy or vocabulary that are already used, or try to extend other parts that are necessary, or use some of the taxonomy for the annotation of the information of the metadata. And we have the framework that can use it is information data offering for in the registry to be able for each marketplace and provider to share the standard template and information of the data offering, having the registry that the consumer also can search freely, understand what type of data set, what are the different type of information inside the data set, but also what are the intended use, the licensing, the other type of information on the pricing, to be able to decide what type of information they want, the exact type, the category in the exact marketplace. And align this one also with the other component and provide also or this information tool and the models in open source. So just a general schema of what is the data offering. Essentially here with that is the description of what is offered by the provider to the consumer. So we need to have an understanding of what are the actors, who is the provider, the market node, the owner, that we can have a link to the verifiable credentials to understand what the identity of the actors, and so the provenance of the data offering, using BigCat for the description of main information data set, distribution, data service, but also an extension to have a more granular understanding inside the data set of what are a more granular understanding of the data that is sold, so the consumer have more understanding of what they are looking for and how to use that, and what are the pinpoint data information that are inside the data set. Information about what are the parameters for the data related to what is intended use or license grant provided by the provider, to be able that the consumer decide, okay, it's for me, but we can agree on probably a different type of use of the data in case we can extend, and the pricing model for also the payment part and the contact part. It's the sample just a flattened part of the data offering description that is for the end user. So it's simple to see with just a JSON file on the API, to not make it too complicated to the different parties to create a more complex RTF or other kind of data. And we are dealing with IDM and self-sovereign identity, so using also crypto wallet, distributed identity, crypto token, and we are using a verifiable credential, the ID for the information and the wallet and the credential verification on central chain to identify the user that are using the marketplace and IT market network. And we are dealing with contracts, smart contracts, so data sharing agreement. We are looking at what are the regulations that are also now still in progress in the European Commission, with the new regulations that are still under revision. But we try to understand what are the main principles based on what is the data economy and the DSA regulation at the moment, to understand also what are the main classes or let's say communities that need to be understand and use as terminology and contact parameter in our smart contract, to have an idea about conflict resolution, liability, intended use, to be able that we can have the essential information to be for the provider and consumer to understand how to manage the data, what are the different types of terms and conditions for that data to be able to accept the agreement. And so this side that we have open source, so it is the different part that created the individual component resource for a backplane that can be used for the different marketplace in the network to create instance and connect, and they can use all these tools and guidelines to be able to expand the functionality or integrate in different ways. And I think that is all.